Hey Pinewood families, today is Friday, March 20th, and give you another update as to what you should be working on today. Continuing in your SMJ math books, page 100. I've really been pleased that students have been working hard on their math boxes. There's such a variety of problems and there's a bunch of different kinds of things. And I've had some good questions that have come through, but I've also heard some people who have said, both parents and students who have said, we didn't get it at first, but we looked it up, we Googled it. And I think this is one of the silver linings of students being at home doing some of this work is that they're going to figure out how to figure it out, which basically means that they're getting past the point to where they're just going to quickly ask mom or dad or raise their hand and ask Mr. Nitz when they don't know how to do something. They're going to work hard to find out the answer and how can I look it up. And this is something that as we get older that as adults we have to do all the time, and so students are learning how to do that. I'm really impressed with their work there so far. They're also going to be continuing to read in Hatchet. By today you should finish at least chapter 13 and answer the race question that follows it. If you are now getting to the end of this first week, there should be some organization to your work. You should now be on your third race question. These can be right in the same spot in your notebook. You should also be getting ready to finish your final copy of your persuasive essay. I've already had 2 people email me theirs. That's a great way to do it if you typed it. That way you don't even have to worry about printing it. Just email it to my normal website or my normal email address, which is anitz@mywwps.org. So ANITZ at mywwps.org. You can send me that final copy whenever you're done. I also know that there might be a few people still working on it over this weekend. There's no additional homework for the weekend, so if you need to finish that final copy, that would be job number 1. Continuing on in social studies, you should be on episode 5, which is, I believe, the episode about Paul Revere. I think it's called The Midnight Ride. If you are interested in this, there's actually a very famous poem written about Paul Revere after 100 years after his midnight ride. And you're going to find out in the video that there are some things that are made famous by the poem that didn't really happen. For example, Paul Revere never said the British are coming. Paul Revere would have considered himself British. He might have called them the regulars or the redcoats, but he would have never said the British are coming. So that's kind of one of those things that we just hear somewhere and we believe it. It's important to dig into history and find out the real truth. In science, as some of you who have loved Mystery Science have maybe watched all those videos, the original paperwork that Mrs. Clark sent through and I sent through Remind had about 4 or 5 links on it. On the Mystery Science website, you can visit all of those little 2-minute mysteries, just some really good scientific learning processes of how do I figure out answers to things. A few parents have told me my kid finishes all this work in an hour or 2 every day, and then they don't know what to do. So parents and students, I would suggest that you go to the website Shepherd Software. And if you spell it wrong, don't worry. Google will fix it for you and find your way there. And basically, this has all subjects, games and activities and learning opportunities for math, science, social studies, reading, writing. It's got some really cool stuff for social studies that I've used before. I haven't dug into a lot of the math and science yet, but I think it's worth a look. We've played some map games on there as a class before. We just did it for the first time a couple weeks ago, where students were learning the geography of the United States and where they're at compared to each other. So I know that there's some good stuff on there. It's called shepherdsoftware.com, and it's all free. That would be a great thing to visit if you are looking for something else to do and just you want to get your kid doing some learning activities instead of just watching screens for entertainment. Had a blast yesterday with the YouTube live event. It was really fun to hear from many of you and get you able to talk with some of your friends and answer a few questions. The Kahoot was a lot of fun. Give me a couple days and I'll put another one of those together. I'll prepare a Kahoot. I even had some good suggestions for Kahoots. We'll have to see about that. So if you hear about a YouTube live event from me, then you want to have that other device ready and almost halfway logged in just to get the code from me. A few people said they couldn't get the code in time, or we're having tech issues or whatever, and so hopefully we'll be able to get everybody participating that wants to participate. It was really nice to see Mrs. Clark and Mr. Keene throw in a comment or two. I even heard that our Warren Woods Public Schools superintendent, Miss Stacy Dunawith, was watching for a little while on there too. So, as a district, we're looking at what does it look like to do distance learning? What does it look like to engage students as best as we can? So we're trying to get through as many different technology opportunities and different avenues that we might be able to try and make work. Last, students, it's a beautiful day out there. It's a little windy, but it's warm. You can still get some good physical exercise outside without being with a lot of people. So we talked about it yesterday. Go for a walk with somebody. Ask your parent to go for a bike ride. Just get your legs stretched outside. Get some physical activity going on. It's a beautiful day out there today. It's supposed to cool off in the next couple days, so maybe today would be the day to do that. Students, you probably are sick of me hearing me say this over and over again, but I'm proud of you. I believe in you, and I know that you're going to do what's right. And that means getting your work done that you need to get done, doing the minutes of reading that you're supposed to do, trying out that new website today for something else to do. Go to shepherdsoftware.com. Maybe even in the next YouTube live event we do, I can hear from some of you about what you did on Shepherd Software. Maybe you'll have some really cool recommendations. Maybe there'll be a really fun science activity or a cool map game or something like that that you can recommend to other people. So that's it for today. This morning, Mr. Lip and Miss Clark and Miss June Duff and I rode all around Macomb County to drop off things to people. It was fun to see a few of them where they lived. A lot of younger students, but a few of you upper elementary students were there. And we were able to drop off some school materials and things like that. Also, don't forget that today's Friday, but starting again on Monday, meals are available. Right now it's about, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. You'll be able to still pick up meals for a couple hours this afternoon at some of the other schools. Check the emails that you've gotten. I think there's one of the schools is open till like 3 or 4. So you'll have to hustle out there to get it. And I think they'll give you 2 today for over the weekend. Otherwise, YouTube, that's it. And students, parents, thanks for watching.